Hello, everyone. I wanted to take a moment to record our October 2024 Leadership Roundtable. Also because this is kind of what we call the general session, where we're starting a new leadership team. We discuss like upcoming vision for the region, goals for the year, and so forth. So I was super excited to see how many people came out yesterday to the Galleria for this in person. But I also wanted to reach those of you that weren't able to make it, so that everybody had the same information and we could all start off the year, our new leadership year, in the best possible way. So anyway, welcome to our October 2024 Leadership Roundtable. I am Nikki Gates, the Managing Director of the Miami Valley region. And let's see here. Okay, so we don't need to do introductions because I just did. Just me here today. We're going to talk about the state of the region. We're going to talk about BNI Plus and then goal setting and chapter success meetings. So many of you know these are our coaches. Your chapter should have a coach assigned that is your chapter success coach. They should be someone that attends your meetings on a monthly to every 6 week basis. They should be who you can reach out to for questions, help with technology things with your chapter, renewals and so forth. Also, they'll be sending, checking in with leadership and making sure you guys have the proper announcements coming up, important information, from the region. So make sure you guys work well with your chapter success coaches, stay in communication. And so they're here to help you all be successful. And then we have Jeff Covey and Casey Davis. They are launch coaches for the region. And Casey's currently working on a chapter that I'll talk about here in a minute. And Jeff is working with a couple pre-core groups in some areas that could use some more chapters. So it's super exciting going on in the region. And our mission, as always, is to help members increase their business through our structured, positive, and professional referral marketing program that enables them to develop long-term, meaningful relationships with quality business professionals. The same mission we've had for 40 years now, and still going strong and still doing the work with the same success. So it's awesome. Okay, so when we do these leadership roundtables, we will take different aspects of pure BNI to discuss. And later on in the meeting, we are going to talk about chapter success and member success and so forth. But this is just something we'll talk about. We'll touch base on with each leadership roundtable as they happen along the way. And this is our vision for the region. This is something that obviously goes along with BNI in general, but something that I feel very strongly about within our region. And I think it's a great focus for our region, for our communities and so forth. But definitely to have a strong region that fosters growth and passes referrals, ensuring success for the members and businesses of our region and our community. So the stronger chapters we have, the more our businesses are successful, and it kind of continues to go, then our communities are more successful and so forth. So so that is something we really strive for within our region. I also really like to have a connected region and an engaged region that supports the success of one another. So we are fortunate in the fact that we are all relatively close in proximity. So I think the farthest north we have is Sydney, the farthest south we have is Springboro. So really you're looking at like a 45 to 50 mile radius. Dayton's kind of in the middle, and it is just amazing to be able to work together, to celebrate each other, to help each other's chapters. I really enjoy the fact that we can be connected, and so many of us do help one another because we just learn from one another. We can support one another, and we can help see other people be successful, which is just amazing. So thank you all to all of you that do attend a lot of our regional events. And if you haven't been able to, please, try to do so, because again, it is very inspiring and motivating, and you just learn a lot from other people. So it's really cool. Also having chapters at a minimum of 31 members. And again, this is we have a lot of data, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, that shows chapters in that 31, I always say kind of 32, 36 range. are really solid and passing the most referrals, pass, have the greatest higher, I'm sorry, thank you for closed business, and just tend to be really strong chapters that are durable um, and outlasting. So that seems to be like kind of the great spot for our region. Now, with that being said, within the region or within the chapters, the members can continue to increase their power of one scores, which then in turn will increase their traffic light scores. And I know I talk about this a lot, but it is pretty cool to see, the power of one is just doing the things that help contribute to success as a BNI member and success in your company. So, attendance, referrals, one-to-ones, CEUs, and inviting visitors. That's how you personally can build up your score. And when you build up your score, your chapter traffic light builds up as well. So a lot of the chapters are really working to do these things, to make sure they're doing them, they're tracking them, they're seeing where their engagement is, and it really is a direct reflection of how the success of their chapter is. So it's kind of just a way to assess. It's data. I mean, you can't measure, you can't assess what you don't track. So that's something that I would like to see continue. And we have had a great increase in this, but we can still continue to work on that. So, if you're Power of One score, if you're not someone that's tracked and you're, like at a 25, that's okay. Work to get to a 45. That's why I said 20 points. The more, just work your way up. We don't have to have perfection right away. We just want progress. So continue those efforts for the region, and that would be wonderful. So this is the data I was talking about average chapter size, and this is data specifically from our region. I like to use this type of data because it's real, it's ours. It's not comparing us to Houston, Texas. It's not comparing us to, Miami-Dade, Florida. It's Dayton and vicinity area. So when we do see the big jump, if you have a chapter of 12, huge jump to a chapter of 25. Chapter 12, you're looking at 10,000, and thank you for closed business, a seat. If you have a chapter of 25, you're looking at 51,000. Average, thank you for closed business per seat. You have a chapter 38, you're now looking at 71,000. And thank you for closed business average per seat. So that's really telling right there when we just look at that. So when you go from 12 to 25, huge difference, obviously, then 25 and to 38. 38 is our largest chapter at the moment. So I took the data directly from that. But again, it just shows you the 30 plus is like $71,000 and thank you for closed business average per seat. Like that's huge. That's amazing. So again, that's what we're trying to get to build that value for our members. So this is what I wanted to show you as far as when we work up to build our chapters. So these are current active chapters and core groups in the area. You can see the different chapters, when they meet, where they meet, what their size is at the moment. And we do have BNI Ignite, which is at 18. They meet on Tuesdays. They're a core group almost to launch. So we are working to get those launched this quarter for sure. And then we have a couple pre-core groups as well that are really taken off. So that's exciting also. But this is the map of our region. The gray circles are the chapters that already exist in those areas, and the orange circles are like the chapters that could exist according to the population of that area. So as you can see, we do have some areas that are fairly underdeveloped. One of which we are working on, which is the Xenia group. There's nothing in that area currently. So, some of these areas we're going to look at really trying to build chapters for the people that want chapters in those areas so that they also have the success that BNI brings and the strategies to help grow their business. Okay, so like I said, BNI Ignite chapter meets on Tuesdays at 7:30 a.m. at the Village of the Green. That is the plan going forward. This group, like I said, is at 18 currently. They will get to 25, and they plan to do so. We have timeline set up for next month to make sure that they are launched and starting training. They'll start training, from the ground up. So it's an amazing time to start with BNI. If you haven't already, or someone that wants to start with BNI, send them to Casey, to see if their category is open in this chapter, because it's really cool when they launch. We come in and we train them and make sure that they are just get off the ground running with all the tools and best practices of BNI so that they can be super successful from the jump. So I love training new chapters. I love watching them all learn the tools and strategies. right out of the gate so that they can, be a successful member and grow their business. So again, BNI Ignite is very close to launch. And then Jeff Covey is working on the two pre-core groups, the one in Troy, Miami County area, and the other one in Xenia. And those numbers are probably even more already by now, because they have some really motivated people that are working in those areas. So if you know anybody in either of these locations, that are interested in a chapter, then send them either to Jeff or to Casey, and they can get them hooked up with the right people to get moving. Also, we have some sponsor incentives that we are working with. So if you attended the mega meeting, if you had sponsored one or two members, we gave out like BNI Miami Valley logo, like decals. You can put like on your, I put mine on my Yeti. I don't know if you can see it right here. Oops, nope, can't see it. There you go, kind of. But really cool decals. If you had sponsored three, got coffee mugs or shirts, but the ones that had picked the coffee mug. And then a couple that sponsored five got hats. So super exciting with the BNI Miami Valley logos on it. And then if your chapter is or gets to 32, you have the choice of the table runner with the BNI Miami Valley and your chapter name, or the sandwich board type sign that you can put BNI Miami Valley in your chapter name. And that will, be yours to use at your location, and kind of to help with your meetings. So again, this is merchandise from YS Branding, and they have a BNI Miami Valley store, which is super cool because you can just go on and order this stuff if you want, for whatever. But I wanted to order some to start getting it around and using it for, for sponsorship, because I think it's really cool when we sponsor people into our chapters or to our core groups, to build a chapter, we kind of have that invested interest. So like, we love BNI. We want to bring people into the group that we think can also benefit. So it's just gives you that little bit more of a, vested interest, and kind of seems like a bit more of a leader within your group. So, so anyway, we always encourage sponsorship. So that's what those are. And then we did discuss years of service and the sponsorship for, the pins that I gave out at the mega meeting. I didn't go into much recognition at this roundtable. Usually we do, but since we just did all the recognition last week at the mega meeting, I didn't want to repeat that. Again, these were the 5 to 9 years of service. If you see yourself on here and you are not available to get a pin, reach out to your chapter success coach. They can get those to you. 10 to 14 years in BNI. These are the names that have 10 to 14 years in, also with a pin. 15 to 19 years. Again, these guys all get a pin. And 20 plus, look at that. Look at those years, which is amazing. I love it. And again, these guys were recognized at the mega meeting, got their 20 plus year pins and a certificate. So it was really cool to see all that. And these were the sponsors that we had. So if you were on the right side, it's +1, +2 on the left. Oh, and then I didn't add the 3 and 4 because I think I got the 3 through 5. I was able to get the gifts to all of them as well. And then we have our Green is Gold dinner coming up for Q3. This is amazing. We started the year at Q1 with 10 people that qualified. Now we're up to 30, which is awesome. So this just shows people are catching on. People are getting excited about tracking their data, and again, in turn, some people are like, it's not just about tracking data. No, it's not, but it means you're doing the things that are going to help your chapter and your business grow. So, so anyway, it's fun to celebrate. So we are going to be doing dinner on Thursday, the 24th. And invites have been sent out to those that qualify, and I just need an RSVP so I can select the location, and I will let everybody know as soon as I do that. So this is super, super exciting. And we talked about this at the roundtable, and we're going to continue to do more discussion of this as we go further. But BNI has launched what we call BNI Plus, and it is an amazing way to create it literally like upload your PowerPoint presentation for your meetings, and super easy. It takes out all the, fuss of trying to switch things up each week and, whatever. So we're all kind of learning as we go. It's new, but those that have used it so far are really, really pleased. So I wanted to share, there are 2 leadership training schedules that are coming up, or sessions, I guess, if you will. Wednesday, October 16th from 4 to 5, and you can register. I'll send these slides out so you can just click the link to register. And then Tuesday, the 22nd, you can register there as well. And this will show you like how, like the BNI Plus training, like how to get started. And I'll also try to, I know there's a video as well, like a recording. I will try to upload that to, in case you can't be at one of these events, but to at least something that you can go back and watch on your time. But the training is helpful because you kind of learn it in real time, and people, if you have questions, you can ask questions and they can help you answer and so forth. Word on the street, these are just some quotes. I will tell you, anyone that's been a B2B lately, they have been using this already. The past leadership team kind of got together and said, let's dig into this and figure it out. And they did. And what the best quote I have from it is they said, it used to take like an hour to kind of get the PowerPoint arranged and, for each meeting. Now it's 5 minutes. And it's super clean, just super nice. So they're loving it. So if you've seen it there, great. If you haven't seen it, you can always like stop in and visit one of their meetings, but also, we all have this access, so we all can start using it. So I just did some slides that kind of show you what it will look like. And I started working in the Metro Dayton chapter, and all of the executive leadership teams will have BNI Plus passwords and logins. So if you haven't checked your email or you saw it and you didn't know what it was or whatever, go back and check and you can log in. And I'll send the link also in the email of the actual website. But you can, you go in, you log in, and you can start working with adjusting your meeting. So this is kind of what the home screen looks like for your chapter. Then you go here and you can like set your meeting times, because some people a lot of us start at 7:30, some start at 8, some start at 8:30. Then we also have our afternoon chapter at 4:30. So, you kind of set your time. Then there's this little button, I think, yeah, I highlighted it here. It says request members to update their profile. You just push that little button and it sends an email out to all your members, and then they can go on and add their photo. They upload their photo and they upload their profile information. And then from there on, it's done. So every week their slide pops up with exactly the information that they wanted on there, that they've uploaded and so forth. So super easy. I sent this out kind of by accident to Metro, and I already had like 4 or 5 people run with it and get theirs done. So for example, here's one that did, and he, went in and added his information and put his little tagline, put his profile picture, put his logo, and it was perfect. And I think I have a slide in here later too that shows like he was set as the featured speaker, so it popped up and showed his slide. But anyway, when you go to present, you start with the section and then it kind of continues to roll through. It has timers on it. So if you have a featured speaker that's got 10 minutes, a 10-minute timer, you just start the timer and they go. If you're doing 60-second commercials, you start the timer and it will roll through. So again, you have those, options. If you have a featured speaker, I think, yeah, here's the featured speaker, so you can see the little timer. And this little slide popped up just from what he entered into his profile when he got the email. So lovely slide with all the information, has tagline, everything, perfect. So anyway, and if you are the featured speaker, you can upload slides if you want to share slides. It really gives people the opportunity to just if you have someone that, your education coordinator, you can give them the access to upload their information into the education coordinator slot. So anyway, super great tool. I really encourage you guys to dig into it because I think this is going to be a game changer for our chapters. This is the BNI calendar year, just kind of a high level. I'm sure things will come up, but Q4, which is what we're in right now, global convention is going to happen in Hawaii soon. We do have obviously LT leadership teams transitioned. Goal setting will start. We'll talk about that here in a minute. BNI Plus transitioning. We have the Q3 Green is Gold dinner coming up, new member social, and then we prepare for International Networking Week, which takes us to Q1 in 2025. We will have International Networking Week. It's usually the first full week of February. And we'll do a Q4 Green is Gold dinner, planning, and then we plan for membership extravaganza, which is coming. And second quarter, we have membership extravaganza, which, I mean, obviously the details will come out as we get closer to it. And remember, we did have a winner that went on the cruise. This actually just got back. I think it was last week, I believe. Yeah. with Ivan Meisner, and it was a member of High Flyers. So we actually did have one of our own go, which is really exciting. So that will be coming up. U.S. National Conference is in Houston this coming year. That is open like to anybody. That's not just for coaches. It's not just for directors. Anybody can go. They have lots of different like sessions, learning, exciting stuff for BNI. And again, it's in Houston. So I don't know if anyone likes to go to Houston or has anyone to visit. It's a great opportunity to go and kind of get some excitement around BNI. And then we'll continue the Green is Gold dinner and our new member social. And then in Q3, probably have some sort of challenge, leadership team selection and training again. Green is Gold dinner, finalize your term year, and then we'll select chapter all-stars for our all-star mega meeting. Also, we do encourage every chapter to do at least one visitor event per quarter. Some of you that are really trying to build in a build page, you might do more. You might do one a month. You might, get creative. But we want to continue doing that so we get in the habit of, really you should. I heard a chapter president one time say every day is a visitor day, which is true. And really, we want to have that habit of all the time, but to have some different events, like maybe you do a stack day or contact sphere day or a social or, different things like that. So think about that and enter or adding those into each quarter. So we are going to talk quickly about people with goal setting for our new term. And this quote I really liked and it resonated, but people with goals succeed because they know where they're going, right? If you're just showing up and not sure what you want to get out of it, what are you going to get out of it? You're going to, even if you got great things out of it, you kind of just be like, oh, hey, that was nice. But most of the time we set goals. We set goals to figure out where we're going, where we're heading, and what we need to do to work towards those. So as new leaders, I encourage you to work with your chapters, work with your leadership team, and select your chapter goals. So you would go into goal setting, and you can hit manage goals under your chapter. I think it's under operations. Yeah. And manage goals. Then you go into goal setting, and you can enter chapter goals, view chapter goals, and so forth. And then down here, you would just kind of type in, what goals you came up with. And I know they're like kind of little spots, but they're not, you can type as much as you want in there, and then it's entered. So then if we ever have to come back to it, you're like, oh yeah, this is what we entered for the year. This is where we're at. This is what we're doing. So that's where we can enter them and connect. But this also, and I will send this out as well in email, but I had this handout out at the general session, is a goal setting guide. And this is, you don't have to do every single thing in here. It's just a guide to help you. But it does help with, like, maybe you're really focusing on attendance. Maybe you're focusing, maybe your attendance is great in your chapter, but you're lacking in one-to-ones, or you're lacking in CEUs, or you're lacking in visitors. Maybe you're going to work towards that. Maybe you have a chapter of 12 and you want to get to a chapter of 18. So you're going to work on building to that. Maybe you have a chapter of 25 and you're going to work to a chapter of 32. So these are different things that we would, most people set a goal for thank you for closed business, which everyone tries to hit for the year. But again, those are things that you can continue to, or, you can set those goals for. And one thing I will say that might help, I feel like thank you for closed business is usually like a year goal. And then at the end, everyone's like trying to like squeeze in there, thank you for closed business. Maybe set it a quarterly so you can see, all right, are we on target? Because what I think happens is sometimes people forget to enter. And then at the end of the year, everyone's scrambling to enter, but you may miss some things. So, you can always do it in like, where will we be in 3 months? Where will we be in 6 months? To kind of enter those goals. Sorry, I needed a drink. Okay. So that is the goal setting guide. It could help you in your chapter. You can pull your chapter, you can survey to kind of see what everybody's, what everybody else thinks might be your focus, so good ways to set goals. But again, how do we track how we're doing if we don't know where we're going, if we're not measuring what we're doing, and we don't have a plan? So with that, we get our goals set, then we plan on chapter success meetings. Now, this is not a new concept. However, it is one that only probably a handful of chapters do regularly. And we obviously encourage everyone to do it regularly. But what the plan is to have this chapter success meeting. And all of you that went through training should know your role in the chapter success meeting. Expert tip, we say it's great to like get these on the calendar in advance. Maybe you do the third week of every month, or you do, whatever you pick, as a team, you stay after your chapter meeting for 30 minutes and you do this once a month, once, on the same day of each month. But it is held outside of the regular meeting, starts with the president, ends with the VP and membership committee. So when we set these goals first, then it allows us to assess those goals and the chapter progress and develop plans and strategies to align with our goals. So when you're doing the chapter success meetings, if you go onto the BNI Miami Valley page, you can go to the member and leadership team resources. There, it's highlighted below, but it says click here for the fillable form. Click for the fillable form. And then you literally go through the process and you can enter it right there in a PDF, save it. And then everybody has a copy of your chapter, or, you can know exactly what the chapter success meeting entailed and share as needed. Reports that are needed for the chapter success meetings. You're going to need a visitor report, your roster report, traffic lights, membership dues, last month's meeting, power of one, and 7-month check-in. So again, these are all things you kind of want to look over at your meetings. When we begin, vice president and membership committee will attend the whole time. The president, secretary, treasurer, and visitor team attend through the passport discussion. You can kind of see that halfway point there. Mentor coordinator stays through the power of one discussion. You can see that little hash there. The second half of the meeting, you go through the power of one report, 7-month check-in, renewal dates, who's renewing, who's non-renewing, what seats do we have coming open, and so forth. Upcoming renewals and outstanding new member applications, you want to go over those. Like if you have outstanding applications, like have we, scheduled the interviews? What are we doing? Do we need to talk about categories, that sort of thing. And then you would discuss any written complaints and other chapter issues at the end. Action items, find what reports you're responsible for, check in with leadership team and get these on the calendar, and set your chapter goals. So super important. These are the first things you need to do. I am going to take a step back really quick though. As we go through this, one more step back. When you get to, the power of one discussion, you're going to look at the power of one, you're going to look at your members, and you're going to see, like, do we need anyone mentored? The mentors do not have to be brand new members. You can be looking at other members that maybe are low in the power of one, or don't seem engaged, or need some help and guidance. So you can have those discussions and you can assign mentors to anybody. It doesn't have to be a brand new member. So think about that too as you're going through this, because we always want to coach. We want to try to help people get the best experience that they can and the best value out of BNI. So, we're not just looking at it to see like, oh, this one's doing really great, this one's not. We want to see how can we help everybody, because that's what we want, the success of our chapter and our members. And then, like I said, lastly, when we get to the end where everybody leaves except for the VP and the membership committee, that's when they would discuss any written complaints and other information that's confidential. So remember, that is confidential. We don't need to announce it. You don't announce it. Those are things that you have to deal with as a chapter, but they stay confidential. Again, and then your action items. So, and I kind of went through that. Some of you, this is old news. You've been doing it forever. Others of you, this is definitely an important thing to start doing, so that you are making sure that your chapter is staying aligned with your goals, staying, that the members are aligned, your chapter is aligned, and you're continuing to make progress and have success. So announcements, save the date. We do have our new member social that will be coming up Thursday, November 7th. And those are for any new members that are from like the last one we had, which was, I think, in June. So any from there on, and their sponsors or anybody else that wants to come with them to a meeting, just because, we like to have, they probably want a familiar face, and, it's just kind of nice to support our new members. We still have the money back guarantee. We have the welcome back to BNI. So if you have a certificate of credit from any amount of time in the last, I believe, 5 years, you can come back with no application fee and so forth, and use that credit. We have the BNI salutes veterans and families. 3 months will be added to the membership. If you are qualified for that one, just make sure you let your leadership team know and your chapter success coach, and they can submit a ticket with your military information and get those added on. 1 complimentary year for nonprofits. And then we also have the BNI PayPal, which is 6 months. No interest. I lost my train of thought there. Okay. And we have our yearly investments. Remember, it's always I guess the best value is to do a 2-year if you're renewing. But anyway, those are the yearly investments that we have for the application fee, and then obviously the year and 2-year and 5-year. First year member essentials, this always happens every month. And it's on the events calendar on the BNI Miami Valley page. Highly recommend for new members. It's kind of high level, but it's really jumps in and helps you understand kind of the different aspects and what you can be doing. And I know we all have MSP 2.0 to do as well, but that's, just in Business Builder and modules. And then this gives you a little bit more high level answer question, Q&A of how to be, a new member. And next month, the roundtable will be November 14th from 12 to 1. That will be on Zoom. Mark your calendars. I did a handout at the leadership training that had all of these dates on there too. So you should have those dates. I'll send out a calendar reminder as well, but here's your reminder on here. November 12th on Zoom is the next one. And obviously you can't ask any questions, but if you have any, just shoot me an email or ask your coach. And give yourself a CEU. I give them 2 in person, but give yourself a CEU for watching the training or listening to the slide presentation. And you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So I am super excited about a fabulous year to come. I just love our region. I love the leadership that we have, and I love that we all work together. So please continue being awesome, continue working together, and we will all benefit by growing your businesses and being successful, and just continuing that lifelong learning and so forth. But anyway, I'm looking very forward to a great year. So oh, and it stopped. Let me stop sharing that. And I will see you all soon. I'm sure at meetings and so forth. But again, have a wonderful rest of your week and reach out if you need anything. Thanks.